Hey guys, Lucky Star Shi-Roku here, and welcome to another update on the status of my hard drive. Again, just like before, if you missed the last couple of videos, you might want to go back and watch them, just because it is important to have the right context going forward for videos like this. So if you haven't watched the previous two previous two updates, you might want to go and check them out, but let me go over the update here, as there's a little bit to cover here. I do have some news. I think I'll probably save the best news for last. So, okay, so I was able to dig out my old hard drive here. So this is my old drive that I last used, I think, back in 2020, I think. So this was my first hard drive, the one where it all started, that I used from, I think, from 2013 or 2016 to 2020, I think it roughly. So yeah, that's my old hard drive. I was able to dig that out, and my God, I forgot how different things were back then. So I was able to dig this. Out. And I went through my old drive. I basically looked through all of my old assets, and yeah, they were really out of date. So I went through all my old assets, and I spent the last couple nights. I pulled a few all-nighters over the last couple weeks. So I've been pulling all-nighters, just going through my old drive and trying to update some of my old assets to be more, with how they are now, just as like a backup plan. So in the worst case scenario, if I'm not able to recover my data, which again I'll get into that later, but in the event that I'm unable to save my data, I've got a backup plan. So I updated some of my old assets to be more modern. I recreated some of my assets that were not on here because they only happened in the past couple months. Like, for example, I remade the I updated all the thumbnails. I recreated the intro. I recreated the outro as best I could. I'm not sure if I recreate them completely as they were, but close enough. I think there might be a little bit of a difference, but again, I wanted to be prepared for anything. I wanted to be prepared for any and every scenario. No matter what happens, I wasn't going to let this beat me. I wasn't going to let the whole hard drive not working. I wasn't going to let that beat me, because I've heard a couple stories. I've heard a story from one of my friends who was a YouTuber who did stuff like this before, and he told me that his drive did something like this to him and wiped all of his data, and that part of that contributed to him retiring from YouTube. And when I heard that, I mean, sure, it was devastating, the thought that might happen to me, but it didn't have the same effect on me as it did him. It didn't want to make me retire. It didn't want to make me give up. If anything, it kind of empowered me. It kind of made me want to try even harder. It just basically fueled my determination to carry on. And I mean, sure, I've had to pull a couple all-nighters just to get everything back, at least a little bit, but the point is, I wasn't going to let this beat me. So yeah, I went through my drive and just tried to like modernize some of my old assets and recreate the ones that I lost completely. So if I don't get my stuff back, which I'm going to, because I'll talk about it in a minute, but in the event I'm not able to get everything back, at least I had something to fall back on, where there's at least some variation of my assets, and I can just carry on recreating them over time if I need. But yeah, at least I have a backup plan. It's not great, but at least I've got something I can at least I've got somewhat of a backup I can fall back on in worst case scenario. But I think, okay, so that takes care of that regarding the old drive. Right, so if you remember in the last update, I said that we'd contacted somewhere. We'd contacted a a local computer shop not too far away from me. We sent them an email. They didn't get back to us. I think it's a very small company. I think it's like a very small team. So they must have been kind of busy, I suppose. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. We sent them another email. I think we tried calling them, but there was no one in the shop. So again, must have been busy. So yesterday on Friday the 20th, I think 20th of Friday. No, 21st. Okay, so yeah, on Friday the 21st of July. Yesterday, one of my one of the staff here. Basically, one of the staff who's had dealings with them before came up to have a look at my drive. He inspected my drive. I explained to him what the issue is, and yeah, he took a look at it. And basically, then I told him about obviously the place and all that. Well, he knew about that because he read the notes and stuff from previous staff. Because they usually when they leave, they usually leave handovers for the usual protocol stuff. But yeah, he knew about my drive issue, and I told him about the place that we'd contacted, and he said he's had dealings with them before, and they were pretty good and pretty decent. So at least now I've heard back and heard that it is a good place. So we contacted them. Granted, it was a little bit late when we contacted them and they were about to close, but we were able to call them just in time before they closed, and yeah, we rang them, and it sounds like it is a situation where we can just take my drive and drop in for them to have a look at. So yeah, so I'm probably going to do that over the next few days or so, over next coming week. I think it's Saturday now, it's too late to do anything, so I think we're definitely going to go over there at some point next week, so sometime within the next 6 days, so from Monday to Friday, somewhere between Monday and Friday next week, we're going to drop in, take my hard drive for them to look at, and we'll go from there. Again, play it by ear. But the thing is, when I was speaking to the member of staff about the drive, and I was a little granted, I was a little concerned based on the stories I heard from my friends of them having their data wiped or whatever. I was a little panicked, a little concerned, and he was able to relax me. He was able to calm me down, because he said that most storage devices like this, so most hard drives and computers, most storage devices these days usually have most hard drives these days usually have an automatic backup. Most storage devices like this usually have a fail-safe mechanism, so if the drive fails, if something happens, the data will still be safe. So what we'll do is depending on what happens, we'll go there and get my drive either fixed or get the data taken out so we can put it in a new casing. Either way, my data should be safe thanks to a failsafe, unless of course, actually no, I'm not thinking about that, no. But the point is, my data should be safe, and that's brought me a lot of hope. So I feel a lot better knowing that my data is safe. I mean, I'm still probably gonna go back from my old drive and make a few more modernizations of my old assets again, just in case. And I think when I do get my data back, I'm probably going to try and back up all the data on my current drive onto there. I mean, granted, that drive is very, very small in comparison, because my current drive is 4 terabytes, and this is, I think, does it say? Okay, I can't see it anywhere, but it's, yeah, this drive is very, very small, to the point where it's almost full in the red, and that's just with my few assets. So yeah, it's very small. I'm not sure how much it can hold, but I think I am going to try to back up all my current data on there, so that if this happens again, at least I can go back to that knowing that I do still have my data. some kind of a contingency plan. I only hope it can hold it all, because I know it's a very small drive and it's almost in the red now, so it's almost completely full now, so I hope it can hold all of it. But yeah, that's pretty much where we are in terms of all that. So making a few backups on my old drive, and we now know that my data is safe, and we are going to try and go to this place to have my drive looked at and either fixed or put into a new shell, depending on what happens. But that's all I've really got to report now. So with a bit of luck, all of it should be fixed in another week or two, depending on what happens. I don't know, like I'm estimating like another week or two or something. So it's not going to be much longer. You know, we can the end. You know, the end of this crisis is in sight. I just need to be patient for another 2 weeks. Like, I don't know. I don't see this going on for any more than 2 weeks. So I'll give it another week or two. Hopefully I should be back. Obviously, whatever happens, I will post another video just to keep you up to date. Like, you know, whenever something happens, whenever we make progress on recovering my drive or whatever, whenever something happens, I will make an update on the channel, just keeping you guys in the loop. But yep, that's all I have to report in this video. So again, thank you guys for watching, and thank you so much for being so patient for the daily stuff to come back. It is coming back. I just need to get this sorted first. So again, thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your understanding, all that stuff. So just wait another 2 weeks for me to bring back the daily stuff. And again, thank you for understanding. And with all that said, I will see you guys in the next update. Until then, have a good day, you guys.